How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to teach you a little bit about transitions. So just to be strictly clear, this is about the built-in Davinci Resolve transitions, not custom ones, although this rule does apply to literally any transition of any kind, but I'm not going over custom transitions. I might make a video like that in the future, but let's just get straight to the point. How to make a good transition. So I'm going to quickly show you this montage, this clip from my montage that I made a while ago. And it really shows you kind of, okay, it's loud as fuck, so let me quickly turn down your guys' audio, zoom in a bit. So the rule is, a good transition is a transition that you don't notice, if that makes sense. So this right here, this transition is literally 6 frames long, which is a tenth of a second, because I think this is 24 frames a second. Yeah, 24, so it's 6 frames. This is literally a quarter of a second, this transition. So as you see, it's just a little slide transition. So the ones that you want to use are ones that are easy on the eyes and that kind of go with the motion of like the camera movement. So it's hard to tell, but the camera kind of starts to move in this direction before the transition even happened. So it looks a bit more natural, and it cuts to this new segment, which is I think like 1 or 2 seconds apart. So yeah, you save 1 second for 6 frames. And then this one is, what is this? This is a zoom in transition. And if you kind of notice, I had a keyframe that slowly zooms in as it gets closer to the transition. So yeah, the slow zoom in, then the quick zoom in transition. So the rule is to do unnoticeable transitions, because if it was exaggerated and you could notice it, then it takes away from your video. It doesn't matter if you're making a montage like I am, or if you're making a documentary, or literally whatever you're making. If I'm watching a YouTube video and I notice the transition, suddenly I'm thinking about the transition and I'm paying attention to it. So the end of the sentence of the last clip and the beginning of the sentence of your second clip, I no longer like internalize that. And obviously you would want people to pay attention to what you're saying if you're making a YouTube video. So it's a very bad idea to make it noticeable. So I'll show you an extreme example. Let's exaggerate this to be a 1 second long transition. It kind of just looks like a massive fade transition. What if we made this one really long? Let's see how bad that would look. See, it looks like a PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, so you get the point. You want it to be short and to go with the motion of what's going on in your video, which might not always be extremely obvious, and you can obviously deviate from it a little bit. Let's see, I think I have one transition that's a rotate. Yeah, this is a rotate transition, where I don't know if you can tell, but it literally rotates 180 degrees. Obviously that didn't happen, the camera didn't do that, but it breaks it up a little bit. It looks different, and it's a short, snappy transition that it just fits, right? So it doesn't have to be like exactly like, oh, the camera went this way, so I need my transition. No, that's just a general rule. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the actual physical type of transition you do. So the whole iris section, you kind of want to avoid, except for maybe oval iris. That's the only one. Oval and square are the only ones I would ever conceivably use. Even then, I think I've maybe used these once in my entire life. Yeah, I'll remove this for you and I'll show you. Even at like an appropriate length, it's just like, what the fuck is that, you know? It's so distracting that it would have to be like 4 frames, maybe even less. It's just so distracting because it like creates this shape that your brain recognizes, and then it's like, okay, well now you're paying attention to the shape and not the actual video, or it doesn't come off as snappy or natural, you know? So you really don't use irises unless you have some kind of other like you'll know if your video you have a use for it, then obviously use it. But the general rule of thumb is it's kind of a bad transition. Also, the no transition method is also pretty bad. This doesn't look so bad because I actually had keyframes zooming in and zooming out. But if I hadn't had that, then it would look really bad. Also, the shape, heart, box, star, stay away from that too. The motion ones are okay, but generally you want it to be clean. So this one's kind of rigid. If it goes by quick, this might actually look clean. Let's see. If I don't know, if it goes by quick, I think it could be possibly, maybe not for my use, but possibly for your use, whatever that might be. Yeah, just generally don't do complicated shit. A transition is a simple, very simple thing. It's not meant to be like, oh, look at this. You know, I think that's one thing that separates professional videos from unprofessional. Unprofessionals want to constantly be like, ooh, look at this shiny thing, you know, dangling the keys in front of your face type edits. Whereas a professional edit is something that's subtle and that it doesn't necessarily add value, but it absolutely does not take away value. The camera shake one is actually a good example of one that I use quite often. I think it's amazing. Not for every use. It's good for montages and just shit we want a quick snappy glitch effect. The pan down, left, right, up, rotate 90, those are all really good. Slide left, slide down, these are all good. Tunnel of light, I think, can be good in limited situations. Warp and zoom in are also quite good. Zoom in and out is kind of bad. It just looks a bit wanky, if you ask me. Bring this down to like 6 frames. Actually, I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's kind of jumpy. I think it can be good, actually. Maybe I was wrong. It can be good. But yeah, anyways, at this point, I'm basically repeating myself. General rule of thumb, be subtle, but be snappy. Like, be something, like, it has to be something that's nice to look at, something that's quick. It just adds a little bit, you know? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Drop a like, drop a sub, and see you next time.